What is up, fellow benchwarmers? Welcome to your daily Fantasy Quickie. Hey guys, it's another daily Fantasy Quickie, and like we said yesterday, we are winding down towards the end of the season. So really, there's really not much, I guess, to talk about in the fantasy world other than the usual strategies that we give you. But there are a few things that's quite interesting today. Commish, how are you?
I'm fine. Of course, been
Cruising.
affected. No, losing, not cruising. I'm in trouble in some leagues. Yeah, especially the league I thought I was gonna win. I think it's
Why?
a
Is
big
there
problem.
injury?
Yeah, injuries. But as I said yesterday, my opponent had Facu and Tybul and Oro and all those players that have been playing. He has Steph Curry today, so yeah. I was talking to him and he said that Facu was with him for a long time and has been terrible, but he has just not really been updating his roster for a while. And it just so happened that
Imagine that we spent a lot of time updating, adding players, and then this guy did not even, worry too much about adding.
Yes. We know the guy. Jeremy and I were friends with him, and he's really kind of not
He's not the
biggest fantasy guy, yeah. But when he started to really concentrate when it was the last few weeks, and he saw that he was number 7 or 8, something like that.
Yeah.
And then he got in because that's why I told him sometimes fantasy is like presidency. It's either for you or not. He was 7 or 8, and the last 2 weeks before he played me, and I was cruising. Remember? So I was not even. I was already preparing for not worried about him. I was preparing for the playoffs. So I was adding based on the playoffs, not based on our matchup. So he beat me 6-3.
Yeah.
So he got to 7th place. And then on the last week of the regular season, he played the number 14 team in our league, who was not even updating. So he got a big win. So he got to number 6. And when he got to the quarterfinals, rest is history, I guess. Until now, he's leading over me. And he said Campazzo was with him even before Jamal Murray got injured. So he waited for him
that's
that long.
also possible. And he's not the type of guy who really cares about winning. At least not before. He was just there because he was really having fun. I mean, it's a friend.
Good-natured, friendly guy.
We are friends for a long time, so he's just there just to have fun.
But it's not to say that he's lucky, because I told him in the quarterfinals I saw his moves. He did some moves. Okoro, I think Tybul was in the quarterfinals. He added him. So those moves actually
have been great.
Have been great. Yeah. So it's a matter of getting some luck and then making the right moves at the right timing. So it's just how it is. Let's see.
So good luck there. Let's see who update us on who wins that one. But this guy hasn't really won much. I mean, he hasn't been in the play for a long time. So I think
if it wasn't me
this year.
Yeah, if it wasn't me, I told him I want him to win. I want him to win also, so that it's something different, a good story also to have, right?
And he'll probably be more excited for next year because he won this year.
I hope so.
Winning wasn't really. I've always felt that winning wasn't really in his his goal. He just wanted to be part of the group, part of the team, part of everyone. Just play and have fun, right? And now he is close to winning, and he's always what we call the wild card, right?
Yeah, and I think in fantasy, one lesson I would give all of you is planning weeks in advance doesn't work. It doesn't work. You don't look at 5 games. Who has 5 games? So playoffs now in this kind of NBA, it doesn't work. It doesn't matter who has 5 and 4.
Maybe it helps a bit.
Yes.
But it doesn't work with every player.
Yes.
I mean,
and don't overthink.
Yeah, I think not overthinking is another I guess one lesson, because I don't really overthink about the playoffs, especially in the teams that where I am struggling, or at least I'm in the 8th spot or 7th spot. So I really don't have any chance to think about what should be my next move in preparation for the playoffs, because all I wanted to do is survive. So I had players like Paul George, who I didn't really trade or try to trade, because he was performing early on, and towards the latter part he was also performing. So really I didn't have chance to do those planning. And the thing I learned about this year's playoffs is that you just take it a game at a time and hope that somehow you'll be lucky and strategize based on your matchups, and that could win you a match.
I had the question before whether you go for it or save some for battle for third. I think I answered my own question with this newfound discovery. You always go for it, because it doesn't matter anymore. The battle for third, even if you drop your stars, you can still win, because stars are not stars anymore. Scrubs are not scrubs anymore.
Sometimes
stars are scrubs are stars. So it doesn't matter. You will always have a chance, no matter what. So just go for it.
And sometimes the stars are even, they're even the weak point at this part of the season, right? They're not even the strongest part of your team.
Yes, that's true.
Stars have always the risk of being rested or not playing certain games, right?
Yes. True.
And so, like I said, at this point, we don't know who plays, we don't know who sits.
And that's why flexibility is the best value, best characteristic your team can have. Like, I'll give an example. I'm against a team right now in another league that is employing these players: Jaren Jackson, Rashawn Holmes, Enes Kanter, Moses Brown, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Rob Williams, Marvin Bagley, and Bam Adebayo. So we could see those are all big men.
Yeah.
Now my best big man is my number one pick is Joel Embiid.
Mm-hmm.
So basically this week Embiid is useless for me because I will even if Embiid is so good, he cannot go against all those big men.
Yeah.
Right? True. So that gave me a problem. What will I do? Will I drop Embiid? No, but every day I see Embiid score 30 points, 20, 15 rebounds, 12 rebounds, and 2 blocks. I feel like I want to cry because my opponent will certainly beat me in rebounds and blocks no matter what Embiid does. So sometimes the matchups matter also, right? So you have to be flexible. What I've done is I've just made all my ads guards. Yeah. That's all I did. I stockpiled on guards.
Yeah.
So there.
And another dilemma for maybe some managers, because I'm experiencing it right now. Of course, my opponent has bigs as well. He has Giannis, he has Nurkic.
Yeah.
I think he has a couple more bigs that are really solid. So I've really given up on the rebounds, the points I'm down, the threes I'm down. My problem is my players are playmakers or facilitators. I have Trey, I have Draymond, I had LeBron in that lineup. I also have Kemba. So these players are probably prone to turnovers, for example.
Yes, and they are.
They are, right? And right now, I am leading the field goal, right? I'm above 500 in the field goal, which I shouldn't be, right? Because my opponent also has Gobert there. So, I mean, and the players, his guards are like Clarkson, players who don't really shoot very bad percentages, right?
Mm-hmm.
So my problem right now is that I'm leading the field goal, so I'm expecting to lose the field goal. But if I lose the field goal, chances are I'm gonna lose.
Yeah,
because we're close, 5-4, right? So it's a dilemma of, that's why I'm so pissed when Andre Drummond, a player, I also had 3 out of 6 in the free throw. I know he'll be bad, but I was thinking of sitting him down, but decided not to because it was a little too early and I was still leading free throws. But it's a bad spot to be in. Like, I have Drummond, so that means my free throw could be bad as well, right?
I guess yeah, Drummond. I think it's a good segue also to Drummond situation.
Yeah,
he's been
absolutely.
cursed. He's been cursed by fantasy managers left and right, and for good reasons. He's been terrible the past. Well, actually, in fairness, he's been terrible only the past 2 games. Only the past 2 games, right? Yeah. You should agree.
Yeah, I guess fantasy-wise, yes. He played well a few games, but in real basketball, if you watch him, he's been bad with the Lakers. He's been really terrible with the Lakers.
The problem is, managers like you, who didn't pick Drummond from the FA, had to endure months of Drummond giving you 0 stats.
Yep.
And when he signed, and you did that because you were thinking when he signs with the team, he's gonna lead me to the fantasy playoffs, right?
Fantasy-wise, he was playing really well early on.
Yep. Now, what he's doing in LA is, well, there were good games. They're not double-doubles, but it's not what you expected. That's why managers are so disappointed with him.
Yeah.
So disappointed. And
in my case, I needed to win the I was hoping he somehow carries me a little bit on the field goal, but he hasn't been as good as well. So now the field goal and free throws are, in danger. So I just had to drop him. He's a big man. I probably won't win the steal, the rebounding part. Thankfully, I'm ahead in the blocks department. I'm up by 9 blocks. So I am hoping that's good enough cushion, and I hope.
Yeah, I think.
If Gobert gets 4 or 5, that's easy. He has Giannis, he has Gobert. I think
it's still hard.
Well, let's see. So I added
players. But 9 blocks I think will be good.
Yeah, I'm up by 9 blocks and 8 steals right now. So I'm hoping that those 2 counting stats holds up, and then the rest are pretty much. I'm leading in assists, but that's easy. I have Draymond, I have Trey, I have Kemba, I have KP. I had KPJ, and I have Kelly Olynyk. So the assist was really the stat that I know I can win. Anyway, we'll see what happens there. Let's talk about Drummond and AD situation first. So Drummond, I dropped Drummond. So I'm not sure how other managers are gonna deal with Drummond. Do you drop Drummond?
I did say you could stream his roster spot if you need, especially if you're in the everybody's in the semis and the finals. He's not playing well, and as Jeremy just outlined, there are lots of problems with his game, lots of holes. So he's not a must hold. I'm not saying you should go out and drop him, but not a must hold. If you can stream his spot, that's better. AD is another player who's really
injured.
He got injured.
He said he's okay. I think the ankle's okay. It was the back. It was the back that got tightened up, he said. But he said he felt good during the press conference. So he said that if he feels the same way tomorrow, he'll probably play. I would guess he will play.
How good would he be? We don't know.
Because the Lakers need some wins, and right. So I don't think they can win. I'm not sure who I think they're going up against Portland tomorrow.
It's a very important game because that's Portland and the Lakers are are tied and are fighting for that 6th spot in the playoffs, right?
Yep.
To avoid the play-in. Now AD, similar situation with Drummond. You kept him because you hoped he was coming back to lead you in the fantasy playoffs, and he has not done that. But if he plays tomorrow, then hold on to him. It's not a major injury; it's just spasms. So I'm still gonna hold on. It's still AD, right? But if you hope for a first round AD, it's not coming.
We were talking about that in the live. What do you think? Where do you think would AD land next year? Top 5 still?
Yeah.
Really?
Still top 5. It's still top 5. it's from the top of my head. Of course, Jokic. Of course, Harden. Of course, Jokic, Harden, and then maybe Steph,
Lillard,
maybe Cat, Lillard, AD. Those players. I mean, he's still there. So,
but I'm sure a lot of managers would, probably just stay away from AD.
Yes.
Wait and probably if he falls to maybe late first round, that's the only time some managers would be picking him, especially after this disastrous year for many. Houston. Let's talk about Houston for a bit. Houston would be they're down to what, 4 players?
Yes, they're down to 4 players. 13 players are in their injury report, including Kelly Olynyk, who we didn't know got injured. Daniel House, Jason Tate. One good thing that we have to talk about, Jason Tate was supposedly in COVID protocols, but now he's out for something else, for knee soreness or something. So that means maybe he was cleared. So he's not in COVID protocol. So if you dropped him, maybe you pick him up again. Because I think, I mean, we said it yesterday, they're gonna rest 8 players. How many players will actually play? We don't know. If I were to guess, they're gonna force.
No, they can't. They need.
They can have to play 5.
They need to have at least 6, right? I mean.
No, I mean they can
if
play
they
5.
have only 5. No
I've
subs.
I've done that. Yeah, I've played with 5 of us.
No.
I've played.
They'll be blown out. They
don't care. But let's say the 4 of them, who do I think will be added to the 4 healthy ones? The healthy ones are Daquan Jeffries, Anthony Love, Armoni Brooks, and KJ Martin. I think Kelly Olynyk will play. I think Tate will play, and I think Wood and Augustine might play. I think this 4 will join that 4 to be the 8 players in tomorrow's lineup.
Or they will just suit up and just see.
Well, they will just suit up.
In case another player goes down, at least there's someone who's ready to at least play. I mean, if Christian Wood really has an injury, he'll probably suit up and play only if it's necessary.
I think Christian Wood's injury, he can play through it, but he just doesn't want to because it's useless anyway. He might aggravate something, but if he wants to play, he can play. So he might be suiting up. Now, for the streamers there, I said KJ Martin. Everybody should be getting KJ Martin ready. Watch out for Anthony Lamb because he's a very versatile player. And then if DJ Augustine can play, I like him more than Armoni Brooks. If DJ Augustine actually plays tomorrow, he might be a sneaky guy who could give people a favor. But
especially if he starts.
But of course, he's questionable, so we don't know that. It's hard. If you want to gamble, you want a Hail Mary, there's your guy, DJ Augustine.
It's hard to add him now and then he doesn't play. So I'm pretty sure no one will really add him, except for those that have their settings of daily to day. So we'll see what happens there. But interesting to see Houston on who will they be against tomorrow. Houston
tomorrow will be against Milwaukee.
Oh man!
And the perfect situation for Houston, they have a back-to-back. After tomorrow, they play Utah back-to-back.
Oh man!
So and they're on the road. It's not even a home thing. So
my hope now is that Milwaukee rests Giannis. No, just for my league.
I hope they don't rest Chris Middleton again, but
we need Chris Middleton. We need Chris Middleton.
I hope it's Giannis' turn this time to rest.
Other fantasy managers with Giannis might get irate with that hope of ours.
Well, yeah, especially since it's the last game of Milwaukee ready for the week.
Think about it. They will be against a Houston team with just 4 players that are fully healthy. And, why would we, people have been resting, teams have been resting, players have been resting.
That's true. And you have have to just be prepared. And another thing to note here, as I said, that's the last game of Milwaukee, and Atlanta, by the way, also has the last game tomorrow.
I just realized that as well.
If you're in your finals, you can actually drop Giannis already, Middleton, and those guys, and Trae Young, John Collins. If you're in the finals, because their season is done, so you can fill up your roster with players in the last two. Some managers don't think about that. They don't see that. Oh, Giannis, I can't drop Giannis. He might have one. Oh, he doesn't have any more games, so it's better to be early on.
Atlanta and Milwaukee won't have a game after tomorrow. So
yes.
Let's just hope everyone plays and see, and give us the last, if you're in the finals, the last great performance for your team. Who else? James Harden. Any news? I think James Harden won't play until the playoffs, right?
James Harden and LeBron, these two. James Harden said he will come back before the playoffs. That's what he actually said.
So if you have a finals next week, then you might still use James Harden for maybe a game.
Yes, but the question is, when will that be? This week is not possible. I doubt it's gonna be this week. They have 2 back-to-backs to finish their season, and at most, I think Harden can play
2 games.
2 games.
Definitely not the back-to-back, for sure.
Definitely not the back-to-back.
It's been a trend throughout the year that, coming from injury, players rest the back-to-back if they just came from an injury. So
just keep him in your IL. If you get 2 games of Harden next week, still good, right? Still good.
For sure. Hopefully, he won't be on minutes restriction in those 2 games, if ever. LeBron James.
It's a weird situation. No, he won't play tomorrow. He won't play this week. He said he's gonna try to come back next week. Weird situation because he's not even on the bench, and they asked the coach, and he said it's not medically related. He's just not there. So it's not looking good in the Lakerland. But next week they have, similar to Brooklyn, 2 sets of back-to-backs. So you would get, 2 games of LeBron also maybe next week because it's back-to-back. So I'm iffy with LeBron. I mean, if you need to win this week, I'm okay with moving on from LeBron.
You see, the problem with LeBron now is that at this point, if you play him, he's not like James Harden. James Harden, if you play him, he'll probably give you, a good number of rebounds, a good number of assists, a lot of, stats that, James Harden usually contributes. And James Harden can only probably hurt you in the turnover, right?
Yeah, turnovers. Most probably turnovers, yeah.
The problem with LeBron, if he plays and he plays badly, he'll kill you in the turnovers, he'll kill you in the free throws. That's the challenge, because I've been, surviving, winning free throws, winning turnovers, and I have LeBron on my team. So the question now, if you have LeBron in your team and those are the stats you're gonna try to get, would you still play LeBron?
As I said, I mean, you have to look at what your matchup is next week. But for me, he's not a must-hold because I don't know how many games he will play next week, and he can hurt you. And look at LaMelo. LaMelo came back, everybody's so happy. But today, what did he do? 1 out of 10. I mean, that's a second game that he has done that already. So it doesn't mean that an injured player coming back can necessarily help you.
Yeah,
so
you have to be careful. In the playoffs, man. Not in the playoffs. Definitely not in the playoffs. And I guess it's easier to not play LeBron when it comes to the playoffs. I think if the stats, I don't think he'll give you good stats. That's just me. LeBron in the next, even if he plays next week, I don't think it's gonna be good. If you expect a triple double, you'd likely get a triple double from James Harden, but not from LeBron James.
It's not the LeBron that we know. I think it won't be, single digit scoring and those stuff, but not the LeBron that we know. Definitely.
Probably score around 15, 16, though the same amount of points he did when he came back, right? I mean, but I think he had 5 turnovers, 3 turnovers. I mean, that's a lot if you for a player like LeBron. I mean, he does these things as well. So it's gonna be a hard decision, guys, if he plays next week. But yeah, I guess you'll take it a day at a time. Other players in game time decision: Robert Williams, Devontae Graham. I'll just run them down. Jimmy Butler, Christian Wood, Kelly Olynyk, Jason Tate. These are the Houston guys that we talked about. Alec Burks and Emmanuel Quickly. All game time decision. So you'll just have to wait. Of all these players, maybe Christian Wood's been out. Robert Williams, maybe one of the more important, and Jimmy Butler, two of the more important players in your rosters. But yeah,
something to consider. Jeremy Grant is coming back tomorrow for whatever reason, just to spite the Jeremy Grant owners, just to to just destroy your plans and everything. He's coming back tomorrow for, I don't know.
Well, if you pick him up, right, and stashed him in your IL, I've seen lots of Grant being dropped.
Yeah,
and he has been picked up by some teams. And if you stashed him in your IL and you're still alive, then he might, give you 3 threes or the last hurrah. I mean, it won't, I don't think. Let's hope that happens. Other ads, I added Dwight Powell today for tomorrow.
Dwight Powell, he's my ad for tomorrow. Yeah.
They have Cleveland 2 more days. Yeah. I mean, not back to back, but tomorrow and on Monday. On Sunday. On Monday. Monday. Yeah. So if you need the field goals, I think this is your guy, Dwight Powell, and he's been good with the defensive stats as well. So, Willie Cauley-Stein, another player. Kristaps is out, right?
Kristaps is still out. According to Coach Carlisle, they'll try their best to bring him before the playoffs. They think they're gonna come.
He's totally out this week.
Yes, yeah, I think so. Maybe they'll try to give him 1 or 2 games before the playoffs. That's their plan. So he's out. Dwight Powell is a good ad. I also like Jalen McDaniels and Naz Reid tomorrow. So these two, you if he's available.
I had Jalen today. He was not bad, except for the 0 out of 3 in the free throws. But yeah, he had the steal and a couple of blocks, I think. So that's solid. Who else? Austin Rivers, Mo Wagner. We talked about these players in the past few days. Shedai Osman has been playing well, actually.
Evan Fournier, and Daniel Tace.
Yeah.
I think some good streams also. Tace has a revenge game.
Yeah. All right. So that's it. You can go through it through the quickie. It's been a quiet week so far, not as exciting as past weeks, I guess, because it's the tail end probably of your fantasy week, and we know the usual complaints. Players don't play just when we need them, so we just have to live with it, and we'll have to learn from this. Probably next year we won't extend the leagues until the last week of the season, because we know these things could happen. So that's it for our Daily Fantasy Quickie today. It's a short quickie, but I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope this was also helpful, even if it's a short one. All right, we'll see you again tomorrow. Bye, guys.